Who is Lorna Vassallo? Family. Lorna Vassallo is from Imjar but lives in Msida. She is the second generation of politicians in her family. Her father, Pio Vassallo, ran for 8 general elections between 1953 and 1987. Once with the Malta Workers' Party, predecessor of Malta Labour Party, led by Prime Minister Sir Paul Boffa, twice independent, and 5 times with Malta Labour Party. He was an activist during the political-religious crisis in the 60s, as well as the education crisis in the 80s. Lorna Vassallo is not married, and her family today consists of her mother Maria, her brother, her sister-in-law, and her 2 nephews, who she adores. Since Pio Vassallo was married twice, she also had a half-brother in Australia, who was married to a Gothitan woman, who still lives with her 2 adult children in Melbourne today. Academic and professional career. In 1996, Lorna Vassallo graduated with a BA in Maltese Law, Economics and International Relations. She then went on to obtain a warrant as a legal procurator in 1997. She also possesses a Master's in European Law, which she obtained in 1998. Over the years, she also read courses in diplomacy, maritime law, writing, and read for an MA in Translation and Conference Interpreting at the University of Malta. After a short career at the law courts themselves, she mainly worked in the educational sector as a part-time Maltese, English, Italian, German, and French teacher. She also worked as a lecturer and examiner of tourist guiding and French for guiding at the Institute of Tourism Studies, Pembroke. She also worked as a tourist guide for various years, especially guiding in French, Italian, and German. Languages, along with politics, are Lorna's passion. And apart from the aforementioned languages, she also obtained certification in Arabic, Russian, and Spanish. Journalistic and literary career. These last 19 years, Lorna Vassallo has become well known with the readers of the Maltese daily L'Orizzont. From 1999 to 2003, she wrote columns about the European Union, and as from 2003, her writings mainly concentrated on national politics. She also contributes to the weekly Il-Kulħadd. From 2004 to 2006, she wrote regularly in the Times of Malta. Her first publication, Il-Ktieb tal-Ħrejjef, or The Booklet of Fables, was published in 2006. Through what looks like a children's fable, Lorna Vassallo tells the story of Malta's entry into the European Union. In 2012, she launched her first book of the series Maltese Through English. This book remains the longest Maltese language grammar book to date. It explains the Maltese language through English, allowing full accessibility to foreigners. In 2013, she published books 2 and 3 of the series, and book 4, the booklet, and the CD were published in 2016. The first edition of Maltese Through English, Book 1, was sold out, and the second and revised edition was published in 2016. Work with government entities and appointments. After Lorna Vassallo was appointed a member of the Cooperatives Board for some time, she had to resign from this position in order to occupy the role of manager on the same board. Afterwards, she also worked briefly in the Parliamentary Questions section with the Ministry for the Economy, Investment and Small Businesses, which is run by the Labour Party's Deputy Leader, the Honourable Chris Cardona. She also worked with the Lands Department, where she was responsible for ground rent and the filing of court documents. She also regularly represented the government on various property contracts. Subsequently, she began working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade Promotion, which was initially run by the Honourable George Vella, and is now entrusted to the Honourable Carmelo Abela. She also actively took part in the European Union presidency in the first 6 months of 2017. Today, she is primarily responsible for the Sub-Saharan African region, which includes 49 countries. As of 2018, she was appointed as a member of the board for Dar Kennal Saħtek, which is a center for the treatment of eating disorders and obesity, under the Ministry of Health. Furthermore, she also worked closely with Minister Chris Fearn on a project called LEAD, aimed at encouraging female participation in Maltese politics. Theatrical and artistic career. Lorna Vassallo produced various theatrical performances with Malta Labour Party, as Partit Laburista was formerly known. The first production was It-tfal ta' Nicole Grishti, translated as Nicole Grishti's Children, a play by former Labour Party leader and Prime Minister Dr. Albert Sand, commemorating Freedom Day 1979. She also produced The Jeweller's Shop of Pope John Paul II in 2005. In 2006, Lorna Vassallo translated the French play The Television Programme by Michel Venaver into Maltese. This play was also held at the National Party headquarters Hawn in the same year. Later, she translated the French comedy The Knowledgeable Women by Molière, which unfortunately was never staged. In the past, Lorna Vassallo worked full-time with the national educational TV channel Education 22. She also produced and presented various TV and radio programs on various other state-owned and private radio and TV channels. These mainly dealt with current affairs as well as legal, political, cultural and educational issues. Amongst the channels which broadcast her programs there were Super One and One Radio, which form part of Partit Laborista's private channel, and TVM, which is the national TV channel, specifically its newsroom. Hobbies. Lorna Vassallo's hobbies are historical reenactments, singing and theatre. She is a very ardent traveller, and her travels span the 5 continents, including Latin America, North Africa, South Africa, Asia and Australia. Political career. As from a very young age, Lorna Vassallo was the local committee secretary of Dwar, Malta, the village where she was born. She ran for the local council elections and the Labour Party's internal elections. Later, she ran for the general elections in 2003, 2008 and 2013 on the 12th district, which comprises Melliħa, Nashar and St. Paul's Bay. It is for this reason that Prime Minister Joseph Muscat invited her to be nominated as candidate for the European Parliament elections 2019. At the moment, Partit Laborista is keen on improving the percentage of female participation in Maltese politics, which has hardly improved statistically over the last 50 years, in spite of the good academic performance of Maltese women and free education for all. The Partit Laborista Deputy Leader, Deputy Prime Minister, and Minister for Health, the Honourable Chris Fearn, her longtime friend, Parliamentary Secretary for Disabled People and Active Ageing, the Honourable Anthony Agis de Celis, and Member of Parliament, the Honourable Robert Abela, officially supported her nomination as candidate for the European Parliament election 2019. If you would like to contact Lorna Vassallo or her team, you can do so on the mobile number 79443906, the email vassallolorna@gmail.com, the website www.vassallolorna.com, or the Facebook page www.facebook.com/lanemaltaaaa. Thank you for your interest and for taking the time to view this short video.